Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel, Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I am a goddess, guide and tarot reader, and today I am so excited to be bringing you a very special Wheel of the Year reading that's all about what are you releasing this Samhain and creating space for something new. Now this is for my Southern Hemisphere folk, or anyone who's anywhere in the world who feels drawn to the reading. So even though it's part of the Wheel of the Year series that I'm doing, and we have Beltane coming up in the Northern Hemisphere on the 1st of May, and on the same date in the Southern Hemisphere, it is going to be Samhain. So Samhain is a time of release. It's linked with Halloween. It's linked with the veil between the worlds thinning, and so you can connect in with like your ancestors and spirit guides, and it's like a really powerful, potent time to do any like shadow work or releasing things, letting things go. Because if you think about it in terms of nature, and we're all connected with nature, that sort of time of year, that season is a time when like the leaves fall and the trees die and things just slow down, things just start to die off. And so we can kind of tune in, we're part of nature as well, so we can kind of use that potency, we can use that energy, if you like, for ourselves to kind of like do a little bit of spring cleaning, if you like. Or maybe not, spring cleaning is not the right word, but like, you know what I mean, like letting go, like thinking of things that we've accumulated over the course of the year that we need to let go of, any experiences, any energies, just anything that is perhaps blocking us from receiving what we truly want. So it's a good idea. It's a good time to like really work with going within, doing a bit of introspection work, doing a lot of journaling, maybe do some full moon rituals, things like that, and really tune in to see what things you could release so that you can create a little bit of space for, around like either Yule time or in the new year to start setting those seeds, sowing those seeds for what you do want to create in your life. So it is a really potent time to be able to just clear out things that aren't really working for you. Without further ado, just to introduce the piles, we have for pile number 1, Vasilisa the Wise. Intuition is the keyword here, and it's card number 5. So if you are drawn to Vasilisa, you'll be pile number 1. Now just to clarify as well that if you are not in the Southern Hemisphere and you're still drawn to this reading, it's totally fine. You can definitely watch it any time of year. The messages themselves are timeless. It's just that this is the time that I'm filming it, and it's just a good way of honoring the Wheel of the Year seasons for both. I'm wanting to do it for both Northern and Southern Hemisphere, so just to make that clear. Okay, so and we've got for pile number 2, the Morrigan Sovereignty, card number 21. So if you're drawn to this Morrigan card, you will be pile number 2. And if you are drawn to, for pile number 3, if you are drawn to this Home at Last card, Aloneness, then you will be pile number 3. Hopefully you can see that all right. Okay, so my lovelies, take a moment to pause the video if you need to, tune into the energy of each of the 3 piles. Some very powerful messages. I've already pre-pulled your oracle cards. We've got some tarot decks here as well that we're going to live shuffle and pull some tarot messages as well for you, and some guidance at the end. And we're specifically going to be looking at what you are releasing at this time, and then what can come through for you, what the potential is for something new once you've released this energy or this experience or what have you. Okay, my love, so I will see you in your pile. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose card number 5, Vasilisa the Wise, Intuition, then this will be your reading. Okay, so let's go into your oracle cards. So to begin with, we've got Invasive, card number 22. This is the shadow that you are going to be releasing, or that you have the opportunity to release this Samhain. We've got card number 21, Hell, Rebirth, Dark and Light. Very powerful goddess there. Okay, we have got Your Path, card number 36. Have courage to follow your own path. Okay, and we've got Absence. And Athena, card number 3. Sagesse et connaissance, which is wisdom and knowledge. And Vision Quest Seek. Okay, Just make sure these are all in shot. I think so. Just move it over a little bit. Okie dokie. So pile number 1, let's get into your reading. Very powerful pile we have here. Sorry, I'm just going to move those little leaves out of the way so you can actually see your card. Okay, so pile number 1, let's start with the shadow that you have the opportunity to release. So there's a couple of different messages that I'm getting from this card. So with invasive, this could be a couple of things. This could be someone or people even with these sort of like multiple dragonflies here. This could be like invasive people in your life or invasive influences in your life that you had possibly either just growing up or that you may even still have in your circle. I feel like it's possibly people that you may even still have around you. And it could be with all this energy around her head, this could be like leading to invasive thoughts, where it's almost like you've internalized maybe the beliefs or ideas of these other people or projections from other people around you. And that's led to some very invasive thoughts that are difficult to control. Definitely perhaps anxious thoughts or racing thoughts or paranoid thoughts, or just anything that you feel like is sort of not really your core self. I feel like there's been some sort of like energies in your life, and I hope you don't still have these in your life, but I feel like possibly for some of you, you do, where that sort of invasiveness that you've had from other people has somehow interfered with, or it's not necessarily interfered with, it's just somewhat held you back from like following your own path or finding your own path. Because with your path, have the courage to follow your own path. I feel like the block, and therefore then the rebirth and the ability to like call something new in, is that courage. But the only way to call that courage and to follow your path is to sort of let go of and release some sort of invasiveness in your life. Now, this could be setting boundaries to like completely cut out other people in some way, but I feel like it's almost like, and I don't want to sound really negative here, but it's almost like even without the people necessarily physically around you, the energy or the influence of them might still impact your thoughts. But I do think that definitely setting strong, healthy boundaries and clearing some of these people out of your life or releasing some of them out of your life is really important. Because here we've got absence, and this card talks about a lot to do with like the natural absence in nature, like how there's just times in nature, like perhaps during autumn is a perfect example, or during winter, or times when like or even at nighttime, where there's just a sort of absence of things going on, where through this sort of space and the void and the nothingness, that's where like you can find that peace and that stillness, and be able to go within and like connect with your intuition, because this was the key card that you picked. Connect with your inner intuition, your inner wise woman, your wisdom. It's sort of like there needs to be a retracting, like a going within, like a letting go of other people, or at least if you can't physically let go of them, like if for some reason you need to be around them. So for example, I'm seeing someone maybe who has to be around like their ex-partner because you still share childcare duties or something like that. But for the most part, if it is something like, say, a toxic friendship or toxic relationship, maybe like a situationship that you're in, really like kind of, it's almost like I'm seeing like absenting yourself, like kind of like absenting yourself from that relationship for a period of time to kind of like really go within. And you can see this woman, she's like closing her eyes, she's really connecting with her inner intuition. And then we've got this horsehair at her chest, which I feel like is symbolic of like your freedom. It's like you can connect with your true path. You can connect with like the freedom within, the wisdom to know where you want to go. Because we've also got over here Vision Quest Seek, which is about, it's like a shamanic rite of passage, which is about like really seeking for your true path, your true calling, you know, your true sun, almost like there's a lot of beautiful orange energy here, which is linked with the sacral chakra, which is all about like creativity and sensuality and that sort of fire energy, that having that creative spark, being able to like find your passion, find your bliss, like feel lit up from the inside. Like you can just see the sun as like a ball of fire. And it's like, maybe that's something that you haven't really had a huge amount of clarity before now, because of this invasive energy, whether that's someone else or invasive thoughts or like an invasive relationship or something. There's just something that's been invading like your space or your time or your energy, and it's, you really need to like create an absence from that person or that thing or that relationship or whatever in order to be able to seek and go on this kind of vision quest, if you like, which is, you know, sometimes this could be reflected on the outside. This could be maybe doing a bit of travel to like somewhere hot or somewhere, you know, like a bit of a pilgrimage to like a sacred site. Like I'm kind of seeing someone do something like, you know, in Peru or something like that. Doesn't have to be, but you know, if that's something you already were thinking of doing and it was already in the back of your head, then you can take this as confirmation that like, yes, that's a good idea. Go and seek that, like, you know, that I guess your path, seek your intuition, seek some space to be able to like connect with your own intuition and have the courage to follow your own path. And if you feel like going to one of these places, I'm also seeing kind of pyramids, so maybe Egypt or something. But this doesn't have to be actually physically doing this in the external world. This could be just going on a vision quest internally, right? Like your own treasure, your own true self, your own true purpose lies within. And you know, you could go to the Himalayas or the, you know, Andes or, you know, any exotic location or like a ashram somewhere, or, you know, and if that's what you're feeling called to do, and if that's what allows you to carve out the space to connect with yourself, then by all means do that. But like really, actually, you can do an inner vision quest. You can seek your wisdom, your intuition from right in your own home, in your bedroom, just through going into meditation, right? You know, and if you're someone who doesn't really connect with meditation, you just don't like it, like you feel uncomfortable sitting still or something like that, especially if maybe you have been through any kind of like trauma, like particularly like say, you know, if you've been through kind of mental abuse or something like that, it could be that one of your coping mechanisms was to disassociate and like leave, almost like sort of leave your body. And so sometimes during meditations or things where it's like if you're not fully grounded or you don't feel safe in your own body, sometimes like going up into the ether, like letting your soul kind of go up into the ether, can sometimes feel a bit challenging. And I get that. So that's totally okay. If you don't connect with, you know, that type of thing, then it might be that something more physical is more, feels safer and more comforting to you. So doing just getting out in nature more, you know, grounding yourself in other ways, or connecting with your inner intuition, your inner wisdom, your inner self, going on that path of like seeking what you need to know through whatever means you can find that really suit you. So if meditating doesn't work, then maybe yoga is good, or maybe going into nature and just going on big walks. You know, maybe you find you get into a bit of meditative rhythm through walking and just going on a really long walk and just asking like the nature spirits, if you like, you know, how, like, what do I need to know? Like what, you know, what is my intuition telling me at this time? Or take a journal and do it. Or, you know, I was also seeing someone do like cooking as well, like intuitive cooking, you know, putting on some nice music and just going into some kind of like creative zone could be really useful. Again, if you're if you're uncomfortable sitting still and you want to do something that's kind of moving or something, and you might find little nuggets of information or little downloads of inspiration kind of come to you when you're doing something you're not really thinking about. I think that's the key thing, is to like get out of this sort of out of your head, because one of the things that came to me with this, and again, it'll be different for all of you. Some of it, this is sort of other people around you, and some of it, this is your own thoughts that are interfering. And it's like your logical brain is overriding your intuition and not allowing you to kind of have the courage to follow your own true path. And that's why there needs to be this rebirth here. And you definitely have access to this rebirth energy during this time, during this Samhain time, even if you're not necessarily in the Southern Hemisphere, right? If you're drawn to this reading, then trust that you're here for a reason, so you can still draw on those energies. It means that there are, you know, right now a rebirth is really available to you. So, you know, really consciously looking at releasing those invasive thoughts could be something really worthwhile looking at. Maybe even getting help with that in some way, like you know, if it is something where you feel like there's a certain pattern of negative thinking or invasive, like really quite scarily invasive thoughts, then it could be that, you know, getting some support in some way. I'm not necessarily saying like psychotherapy, but, you know, it could be counseling, or it could be, you know, somatic therapy, or it could be flower essence therapy, or it could be tarot therapy, or like, you know, crystal therapy, or like whatever you feel drawn towards. But if you've kind of felt connected to a particular healer or a modality, or, you know, even Reiki, I'm hearing as well, could be another useful one. But whatever you feel drawn to help you disconnect from invasive thoughts that are taking over your brain a lot. Like if you find you're getting stuck in like patterns that like sort of very worrying thoughts that kind of are very almost like aggressive in nature, you know, and you might be kind of confusing that with your intuition. But just know that, like, if it is very urgent, and if there's any sense of like, what if, but what if this happens, what if that happens, blah, 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 that's not intuition. That's fear, you know, that's invasive thoughts. That's, you know, either some kind of energy you've picked up from somewhere maybe, or some other projection from someone, you know, with these sort of dragonflies. Yeah, but this is like something that's kind of in your shadow, which just means that it's something that like is, you're maybe not fully aware of it. You might be a little bit conscious of it. You might sort of think like, oh yeah, I have had struggles with that kind of thinking. And it's really like your guides are coming through really strong to kind of say like, you need to create an absence from that. You need to create space, like let that go, or let those people go, or that thought pattern go, or whatever, and get whatever help and support you need. I feel like with this Athena card, the wisdom and knowledge, this is like, it's an energy that's available to you, but it's like this could be a figure that's coming in. So there could be an Athena archetype person. It doesn't have to be female, because goddess energy or divine feminine energy can manifest in like any gender. It's not gender specific, just to make that clear. So I feel like there's sort of like Athena energy, like wisdom energy, you know, with this owl here, like very wise, very old soul kind of energy that's coming to you to help you through this, to help you go through this rebirth, and balance that shadow and bring to light like anything that might be hiding under a lot of those invasive thoughts. Because I feel like you have so much to offer, and you have a very clear path that is definitely like your path that you're meant to be going down. And I'm not saying you're not going down it. You maybe that you've started going down it a little way, but there's something that's kind of maybe just interfering a little bit or getting in the way, or like, you know, this could be, you know, defeating thoughts, or self-fulfilling prophecies around like, oh yeah, like I could start this thing, but like, it probably won't work out, you know, or like that kind of thing, like sort of self-defeatist thoughts. And it's like, this has come from somewhere, and there's a need to kind of like not necessarily know exactly where it's come from. We don't always need to know where or who created our shadow. It just know that it's sort of gone into your shadow self, and there's light underneath that that's waiting to come through, which is why we've got that like dark and light. It's like that balance between dark and light, and like we all have shadow side, we all have a shadow side, and we all have a light side, and the universe has that, and we all have that within us, and it's just energy, and there's nothing to be afraid of. It's important to integrate it though, and it's important to be conscious of it, and not let those shadow sides of us kind of dictate our lives, right? And so where there's any kind of interference with having that bravery and that courage to follow your own path, it's just important to like look at what might be stopping you from following your path. So I think I've covered all the cards here. Is that all you want me to say, Spirit? I'm going to move into the tarot portion of your reading now. We've got the Everyday Witch tarot deck for you guys. So I've already pre-shuffled before I started the reading, so let's just get straight in. Okie dokie. So Spirit, can I have some guidance on next steps for releasing? Whoa, that one jumped. I feel like that one wanted to come out. Four of Cups. Yeah, interesting. This is very much the energy I feel like you're in, where you're kind of like, it's like you're just sort of done. You can see this person's like, they've already drunk, 3 cups. Someone's bringing them a fourth, and they're just like, oh man, I don't know if I can take this much longer. So this could be a real like energy of being very dissatisfied with, your kind of lot in life, like what you've been given, with where you're at, with like what the universe has been kind of offering to you. And it's Four of Cups is often like, it's often because it becomes let me try to get that out again. Too much energy trying to come through at the same time, and my words get muddled, sorry. So Four of Cups is the energy before the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is walking away from something that's emotionally unfulfilling. So this is the point where you are self-reflecting, and you're kind of going like, okay, maybe there's some things in my life that aren't really working. Like, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release here? Like, how am I kind of causing these self-fulfilling prophecies to kind of come about? And I just saw 22 on the clock, so that's a kind of double confirmation message of that. So let's get a little bit more energy to get a wee bit more information about this. What do Pile 1 need to release? Two of Pentacles, juggling. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like indecisiveness, juggling different options. Again, like with that invasive, like juggling priorities from other people or ideas from other people, things that other people have projected onto you. It's like you're trying to kind of go your own way, but you're kind of just stuck. Stuck in a loop. It's like stuck in like a perpetuating cycle, I think this is about. We have some more information about this. Whoa, Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, this could be to do with like your self-worth. So there's a need to kind of claim your sovereignty, your self-sovereignty, your self-worth. The Queen of Pentacles is all about, kind of putting your stuff in the ground and creating that stability, security, sense of home, I'm hearing, sense of like purpose, sense of like sort of, it's that self-sovereignty, that like really residing in herself, being like a ruler of her own life, and like, everything material in that life, and like everything that she wants to receive, she's able to like manifest that. She's able to, it's not so much manifest, it's like she's able to bring it about, I guess. It's like there's a huge treasure chest here, but it's more than, it's an energy from the inside though. It's like she's wealthy on the inside, she's got a lot of self-worth, she's like golden on the inside, so then all this abundance like appears in her life on the outside, because she's really got that self-worth really anchored in. Let's have a look at this. I've noticed, I've become aware of the fact that I'm saying a lot in this reading, which makes me feel like because I'm tuning into your energy, it's like, and I don't want to say you guys, oh my gosh, like you guys say all the time. You must be like, why are you saying it's just that that's the vibration, or that's the frequency I'm picking up on, is that indecisiveness. I spoke about indecisiveness. Like there's a certain level of being unsure about yourself, or a certain level of being uncertain about yourself and your ideas, and like what you want, and what you're doing and where you're going. It's like a little bit, it's like this card where she's sort of got her eyes closed, and it's like biz 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 biz, there's all these like dragonflies kind of around her head, invading. It's like there's just so many different ideas. And like Two of Pentacles does talk about juggling, you know, so it's like you're juggling lots of different ideas, lots of different options. Some things are things that are things you might want to do, some things are things that other people have like projected onto you. But I feel like this is kind of like you're getting to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm done doing what that person wanted me to do. I'm done doing what that person wanted me to do. I'm done doing what my parents wanted me to do, or whatever it is. It's like, now I need to move on and like cultivate the self-worth, and like figure out what I want to do, and like ground myself in who I am. This is very grounded energy. Pentacles energy is earth energy, so it's very grounded, and she's the queen of the Pentacles, so she's the queen of grounded energy. Literally. So yeah, that's coming to you, that's available to you. But there's got to be this quest, this like seeking your true path, and then having the courage to actually follow it. Woo, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm not taking reversals. Excuse me. I don't always take reversals unless I'm guided, so just in case anyone was like, that one came out in reverse. I'm being told to take this upright, because this is the energy that you have available to you. And I feel like, again, this could be another confirmation for some of you that you could be traveling, or you may need to take a trip or go somewhere. We've got a map here, and he's left his home behind. He's at a crossroads. He's like, right, okay, I could either just stay back in my hometown and carry on doing what I was doing, or with that page energy, he's like, you know, got a newfound optimism. He's young, he's innocent, he's prepared to like just kind of, you know, throw light to the wind and see where this coin takes him. He's going to throw a coin in the air, see where it drops, and be like, okay, I'm going to go here. You know, and I'm not saying like you should necessarily do that to like pick where you want to go in the world if you're thinking of traveling, but unless you want to, in which case, good luck. But you know what I mean? Like the idea is like a more, you know, if you've been getting to a point where you're like really fed up with your work or something, right? And you're fed up with your job, and you're just like, oh, I can't take another minute of this. I can't do this anymore. Then, and you're like juggling, like, should I stay at my job, or should I go traveling, or should I stay with this person, or should I go traveling, or should I like go down this path or this path? Like you're at a sort of crossroads. And I think I feel that if you've got an option and you have the financial resources to go somewhere else or do something different, then it's kind of confirmation to say do that. And again, like I said, that might not be for everyone. Some of you may not have the ability to just up and leave ship, and that might not even be something you want to do. You're like, I don't even want to travel, in which case that message is not for you. So just always take what resonates and leave the rest. And like I said, you don't have to go to the Himalayas or whatever. You can do a vision quest from home. You can literally do it from meditating at home. You can find your path from home, right? So, you know, if you feel like, well, that's not available to me and I would love to go traveling, but I've got several kids, or I've got no money, or whatever it is, like, I get it. That's fine. That's totally, oops, sorry, I keep knocking the camera. That is your prerogative to, you know, not necessarily have to take off. But the idea is to kind of like try something new in some way, right? In whatever way, shape, or form you can, in the environment that you're in, with the means that you have. So, for example, say if you fall into the camp where you're like, well, I would love to just follow my own path and go off on a vision quest and go to like the Andes or something. But like I absolutely can't leave my job or something. In which case, like maybe just traveling within your home country or home city or home region, maybe just getting out in nature, right? This person's out on a hike, you know, they've got a map. It just could be like leaving your hometown behind just for a day, going on a day trip, going for a walk by a river, you know, getting out in nature. Like I said at the beginning, for some of you, like walking, you know, just doing like a walking meditation could be really useful, could allow you to like get some ideas. It could allow you to tap into your intuition. So it's like getting outside the square a bit more. Okay, so I'm going to leave the tarot messages there and finish off with, we've got a couple of guidance cards to end your reading. So we have got Fulgurite and Rose Bay Willow Herb with regeneration, acceleration, change, shamanic wisdom. Ooh, so yeah, I mean, I think that's another kind of shamanic-y card, so, or like shamanic message for you. So some of you may be interested in shamanism or studying shamanism or tapping into shamanic wisdom. That could be a really useful, powerful, potent thing for you. It could be part of this rebirth that you're going to go through, is like initiating into that kind of wisdom, if you're open to that. Doesn't have to be. It could just be more that, like, you know, you're going to go on a journey, essentially, like go on a healing journey and a rebirth journey and a journey towards like your own inner self and finding more of your true self. And like regenerating, like rebirthing yourself, because you're kind of in this like stale energy of like, I can't carry on the way I've been going anymore. And like there's all these, it looks a bit like lightning, I think, coming down here. So it's like, yeah, that does make me think a little bit of the tarot card, the Tower. And I don't want to like freak anyone out. I'm not saying like you're going to have a Tower moment, but with lightning, that is kind of talking about like fast change or like accelerated, I mean, it says acceleration, like accelerated transformation. Like this is a very potent time for rebirth, because like a lot can change quite quickly if you're open to that. And if you're not open to that and you want to dig your heels in and kind of stay where you are, then the universe is probably going to find ways to bring about that change, because it's kind of like saying you can't stay stuck in your comfort zone anymore. Or not that I'm saying like you're being in your comfort zone all the time, but like and like I'm not calling you out for this, because I am a shocker for doing this, because I'm a Taurus sun and we are a fixed sign and an earth sign, and we just like to dig our heels in and stay like a cow, you know, in the pasture. We just stay in things and places and situations and relationships and jobs for a really, 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 really long time. And often the only way to get us out of it is for the universe to bring Tower moments. So I have had many of those in my life, and I'm slowly getting a little bit better at sort of anticipating them and trying to ride the change before it gets pulled out from under my feet. But yeah, so absolutely no shade. That is a very natural thing. If you're one of those people who resist change and you're just like, oh, but I kind of just want to stay in my comfort zone where it's warm. But yeah, there is, even though change is never comfortable, it is necessary part of life, like death and rebirth. I mean, you know, we're doing this as a Samhain reading. So, you know, it's part of the wheel of the year. There are all these seasons in the year. Each season needs to change. It needs to let go of something in order to allow the space for the next season to come along. So it's like this is a time of your life now where there needs to be some change. There needs to be a regeneration of something. So consider yourself pre-warned. Here at Elle's Temple, you've had your official pre-warning. And oh my goodness, I love this. I hadn't actually seen, sometimes I just shuffle these cards and I don't see them ahead of time. So I love that this has come in, because what did I speak of? If I can pick them up with these nails. Queen of Pentacles and self-worth. And then we've got, I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. Yes. And we had the like, have courage to find your own path. So I think this journey, this rebirth journey you're really going on, is one of like finding your self-worth, finding yourself worth, and then like getting to a point where you can ask for what you want and you can go after what you want. So I love that journey for you, pile one. That's very exciting, and it's uncomfortable, I know, and I hate to be the one. I am just the messenger, so don't shoot the messenger. I hate to be the one to like, you know, to say that this is going to happen, because I can kind of feel a resistance from some of you. Sorry, that's just the lamp that keeps knocking. Apologies for the knocking the camera. But yeah, I do feel like there's some amazing things that are going to come to you off the back of this, and having that courage to follow your own path is going to be like, yeah, I just think you're going to feel so much happier and more free. Really, that's what I'm getting. You're going to have so much more freedom, because I do feel like at the moment you're in a bit of a confined kind of energy. Okay, my loves, I'm going to leave your pile there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your likes and your subscribes. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Please leave a comment below if this resonated. I do love to hear from you, and I reply to all my comments. And all the best with this Samhain season if you are in the Southern Hemisphere and watching it at the time of upload. Otherwise, I will see you in the next reading. Oh, my love. Bye. Hi there, Pal 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Morrigan Sovereignty card, this will be your reading. Okay, so I've already pre-pulled your Oracle cards. So this is going to be your shadow card that you are releasing. This is a shadow that you're have the opportunity to release this Samhain, and we've got Untamable, card number 4. Okay, I'm going to pull all your other cards and then we'll get into the channel messages. We have got a double message from Goddess Morrigan today. This is card number 42, Release and Permission to Rest. So Morrigan came out twice. And then we've got Offerings, Wealth. We have got Happiness, Joy of Life. Move these up a little bit. We have got Anya, Retrouver la Joie, which is Refine Your Joy. That's in shot. There we go. And last but not least, we've got Influence. Beautiful. Is that in shot? Up a little bit. There we go. Just okay. So pile number 2. Let's get started with the shadow that you are releasing, or have the opportunity to release this Samhain. So we've got Untamable. So pile number 2, I feel like for you, you have this really, it's really powerful, fiery, wild, like dragon energy, like kind of really, mystical. It's like you're a mystical, like a seer, or maybe this is in a past life. I'm picking up on someone who was kind of a seer or something, but like you might have gotten into some kind of trouble for that, or like people wanted to tame you. And now this might have also then carried across, like your soul has gone through this perhaps in past lives, and then in your current lifetime this might have carried over into like where maybe you were a bit of a wild child as a kid or even as an adult, and you just kept like running into where like situations where people are trying to tame you, essentially, like situations where you just kind of can't be your fully wild self. Like you can't be kind of this like mystical, like into like really magical things and like fairies and kind of witchy stuff maybe, and like speaking your truth and just being really radical. And like I kind of see some of you, maybe you've got like red hair, or you kind of dyed your hair red, or like you dress quite in a radical way, or you wear like red lipstick, or there's just this kind of fiery red energy, like yeah, like it's very wow. I think I've had this before. I'm like stumped. I can't really find the words. I can't really speak around you. It's like, whew, your energy is so powerful. And I think this is why, like, this is what's in your shadow. It's like, I don't feel like you see your own power. It's like you're a dragon, but somehow you've been made to put that powerful energy, that kind of mystical energy, or like it's like very otherworldly energy, dragon energy. It's very like um it's very fire energy. So there's a lot of like that, like the impulse to be able to shine light on something and do something about it. Like it's like action taking energy. It's yeah, it's like being able to shapeshift almost as well. Like you can kind of like feel really fired up about stuff, and then you can kind of voomph, you can like move and make something happen. Like I'm getting almost kind of an activism vibe from you, pile number 2 as well. Some of you might be activists, but that's not going to be for all of you, so just take it as it resonates. But it's like you have this fiery energy in you, and some of you may be aware of this, and some of you might be like, oh yeah, like I've always been a bit of a wild child, or I've always been a bit rebellious, or I've always been a bit like called a bit feisty or a bit bossy or a bit this or that, you know. And people have tried to kind of tame you, and you're kind of aware of that. Like I'm getting sort of Aries energy, or like you might be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you might be constantly kind of like butting up with other people, like butting up against other people in your life. Like you might be quite outspoken. So it may be that you already have an energy where you've tried to kind of like show your untamable side, if you like, your wild side, and it's been you know you're aware that people try to kind of repress it, or they don't necessarily like it, or you've tried to sort of fit in a little bit with society. For others of you though, I'm getting kind of 2 groups. So some of you fall into that, and then for others of you, you aren't aware of this energy. Like you have it within you, but it's been so far pushed into your shadow that like you don't realize how much power you have. I think you don't realize how much influence you have over people, or how much like and the power doesn't necessarily have to be super fiery. Like if you channel the power properly, like it doesn't have to kind of like burn everything in its sight, right? Like it doesn't have to be a confrontational power. It can be, if it's nurtured well and balanced well, it can be a very soft power, a very gentle but strong power that has a huge amount of influence. Like the kind of power where like you can like talk to an animal almost, and it just instinctively follows what you say to it, or like you talk to a child, or you talk to another person, and like you just have this way with words, or this way of looking at someone. You've got this like magnetic vision, or like I'm seeing someone with like really fiery eyes, like there's something behind your eyes that's like really mesmerizing or something. It's kind of like a presence, right? Pile 2, you have a presence, you have an energy about you, and some of you know this and some of you don't. Some of you, this is in your shadow, and you absolutely need to pull it out of your shadow. And when I say shadow, this is like something that has been shamed in your life. So something that you maybe did exhibit when you were young, this sort of fiery power, if you like, this kind of elemental power, this strength, this influence, and someone maybe around you, it could have been a mother figure, maybe. Not necessarily though. It could be just teachers, it could be society, it could be friends at school, it could be anyone. But it's not so important who shamed you. It's more important to just note the fact that it's happened, release. We've got Morrigan, release, and heal it and let it go. Because you have got with offerings here, you have got a lot to offer the world. Both, I think this is kind of saying, you know, you have the ability to be very financially abundant, and you might well already be on the way to that, or already have that. But it's like with all this food, it's kind of like you have so much nurturing to offer. You have so much to offer in the way of like, it's like food for the soul, like nourishing people from your presence, just from like your influence, like the way this person is just cradling this dove. Like it's very peaceful energy. But there's something first around like finding that kind of wild, untamable part of you, that kind of core wild essence, because that is going to let you like be free, kind of like with this happiness card. You know, this person's energy, it's like very feminine, it's very flowing. You know, it's very, we've got a lot of green here, which is the heart chakra, which is all about love. So it's very like self-loving, it's very receptive. It's just, yeah, the flow of joy, being able to be in the flow of joy. And then, I mean, we've got two cards speaking about joy here. We've got happiness, joy of life, and then Anya, retrieve or re-find your joy. So there's something that got pushed into your shadow, pile number 2, around your, like you being too much for people, or too loud, or too wild, or too crazy, or like, you know, that child needs to be controlled, that child needs to, you know, be quiet, that child needs to sit down and shut up and get on with homework or something. It's like I'm kind of getting that whole energy of maybe you grew up or you've inherited a pattern possibly from a parent in your life where they were told that they should be seen and not heard. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. And you've inherited that. And like they've not necessarily, that parent hasn't necessarily consciously passed that down to you. Maybe they tried to even be conscious of the fact that they'd had that kind of upbringing and they didn't want to pass it on to you, but because they kind of still carried it energetically within them, and your soul kind of signed up to go through this shadow and kind of like go through that experience, but then you have the opportunity now to release it. This is very, like, this is a core time for you. This is a key time for you to be able to release this shadow. And this is really important. I'm being drawn to this card that they're saying about stressing the importance of coming into your self-sovereignty. Like the only way to come into your self-sovereignty is to reclaim that untamable part of yourself, that like core essence part of yourself that will bring you back to like your joy. I think maybe how you expressed your joy as a child especially might have been shamed or shunned or put down in some way. And again, this isn't kind of like to criticize or attack or blame, you know, parent figures or people in your life. This is to take, you know, responsibility and know that everyone just does the best they can with what they have at the time that they did it, right? And so knowing that you now have responsibility and the ability to look at those things that might have, you know, been repressed and heal them and release them for your benefit, for your self-sovereignty. So yeah, maybe doing some journaling, maybe doing some inner child healing could be really useful. But there's something around like, you know, like unfettered expressions of joy that you did as a child. Maybe you had like a crazy laugh, right? And like someone in your family found it irritating. It could have just been like a big brother or something, right? And they were just like, shut up. Every time you tried to laugh, they were like, you irritate me so much. And then you learned over time to kind of suppress your laughter, right? Or like the way you experienced joy and happiness was to dance or something, and you had a parent who was maybe a writer. This is really specific, so this could be like one person who's had this, but maybe you had a parent who was like a writer or an academic or something, and they were quite strict around the house and they didn't want you making noise and dancing and like playing music. And I'm also getting another thing as well, that this may not have been in childhood, but this may be something you've gone through in a relationship recently. So, you know, take it as it resonates. If you're looking around trying to pinpoint, you're like, but I had a pretty good childhood actually. Like, I don't necessarily feel like I was repressed. I feel like I could be my true self. Maybe there was a relationship, you know, when you were a teenager or in your early 20s, like a very formative romantic relationship, and that person kind of tamed a part of you. Like they kind of pushed, because they disapproved of it. They pushed a certain part of you, not consciously, not necessarily maliciously or deliberately, but they just, for some reason, they were annoyed, or for some reason they didn't like that part of you, or for some reason it triggered something in them, right? Because maybe they were really unhappy and they didn't know how to express joy, so then they had to block it in everyone else. You know, it could be that you know, their parent figures didn't let them express any joy, and they just then unconsciously projected that shame and like pooped it all over you. And so anytime you tried to be happy or joyful or sing or laugh or dance or be silly or like watch silly cartoons or something, I'm just seeing like your inner child trying to get out and trying to like express itself and trying to be wild and free as children are meant to be. But there was like, or like even just a part of you, like I say, like it could have been in a teenage relationship or something, and like you tried to express love, or you tried to express your happiness to this person, like, you know, you wanted to kind of run around and like be out in nature or something, and they were just like, ugh, that's so lame. Like, why do you like that? Why do you always want to be outside? Or why do you always want to go for like running around? Like, just sit still. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting, is like kind of strap down, sit down, shut up, be quiet, you know. And I think that, no, I know that it's really, really important to like find, like do a bit of work, you know, through journaling and you know, maybe like I said, some inner child healing or something, to kind of find those parts of yourself that need to release and need to be expressed and need to come out. We've got a strong message from Oregon here of release, because that is going to there's something around something that you need to release, because like when you find what really makes you happy and you refine your joy, you'll start to not only have more like influence in the world, but you'll also be able to receive more offerings and wealth as well. Like you'll be able to command more wealth as you heal your inner child and heal these wounds and this shadow, and like reclaim your true self, reclaim that wild part of you, reclaim that like feisty, fiery, like rah. Like I'm just seeing like fire breathing dragon energy, right? Like if someone crosses you, you're just like, bah! You can just blast them because you've kind of found that like feisty voice kind of thing. We've got a lot of blue here actually. Well, we've got red, which is the root chakra, and then kind of blue and sort of bluey purpley here, which is the throat chakra, which is self-expression, and the third eye, which is intuition. I'm just seeing if there's any other messages from, I think that's all the messages from the oracle cards. I'm going to move into the tarot portion of your reading now. I've got the Phantom Wise Tarot for you today. Okay, I have already pre-shuffled these off camera properly, but I was just giving a quick shuffle. Okay, let's see. Spirit, can you give us some guidance on... Whoa, that came out fast. I hadn't even got the question out, but I feel like Five of Swords wanted to jump straight out. This deck is a very jumpy deck, as you'll notice. So yeah, conflict with other people. Definitely what I was saying about butting heads with other people, or getting into conflicts, or being people trying to tame you, people trying to stop you from speaking your truth, or like, you know, defending yourself in some way. There's something around like maybe, yeah, you feel like you need to defend yourself because this person's got like two swords. They've got one sword at their hilt and then two swords over their chest, over their heart, like kind of protecting themselves, I feel like. So there's some part of you where this untamable nature, because it's been kind of shamed, you've then created like a wall or like a self-protection shield, which is kind of blocking your like happiness a little bit, because like maybe you're quite feisty with others or a bit like standoffish with others. You don't really want to let people close. You're kind of maybe combative is the word I'm hearing. You might be a little bit combative. That's not necessarily going to be for all of you. For some of you, I'm picking up more of a shy vibe, like really anti-confrontational. But, you know, even if you're not necessarily being like getting into fights or whatever, you're still feeling internally conflicted, because Five of Swords can sometimes be a card of internal conflict, like 5 different aspects of the same person's psyche at conflict with each other. So I feel like that's kind of confirming that untamable energy, right? Where that's a natural part of you. That's a natural part of who you are. You're not tameable. And someone's tried to do that. So there's this inner conflict between like, I'm really bad if I let this part of myself out. And so it's trying to like keep it in. You can see this person is like got these swords in front of themselves, like don't let the fun out. Yeah, don't let the crazy parts out. Let's see. I get oops. That is a lot. Is it all of these? It's all of these. Okay, Four of Swords, yeah, this is rest and healing. And we've got with Morrigan as well, permission to rest. So there's some kind of healing that needs to take place, which maybe for you, Pal, too, could be something that comes through sleep and through like maybe more meditative states, like more sedate meditative states. Pile number 1, they got like a vision quest, so it was like potentially also traveling and getting out and about, whereas I feel like for you, Pile 2, this is more gentle and more like needing to kind of go within and like kind of really rest your energy body, rest your nervous body, like receive some healing. Yeah, like listen, you know, there's lots of chakra healing videos on YouTube, or like inner child healing meditations and things. So kind of just spending some time resting. And also I've just noticed as well with this Four of Swords, this is quite an unusual Four of Swords, because normally all 4 swords are hanging above the person, and it's like all the battles, all the weariness, all the anxiety, all the conflicting mental states are suspended above the person while they go through their healing process. In this particular deck, the person, the woman here, is holding one of the swords. So there's really a need. I feel like this is kind of saying, like, even when you are doing your healing, to like let go, like really let go, really release, really let go of that last sword. It's like there's a real like holding on to like, I need to be able to fight. Like I need to defend this part of myself, because it's been really, really like your inner child has been perhaps really, really quite hurt. Oh, part 2, I so feel your pain. But I don't feel like you, it's like I'm getting an energy of someone who has, it could be like sort of CPTSD or, yeah, some kind of PTSD or something where like you feel like you can't, it's like hypervigilance, where you feel like you can't put that sword down because you might need it in the middle of the night, right? And it's like you really need to kind of trust that, and this is your official permission from the goddess, right? You have permission to rest. You have permission to rest. This is your official permission slip from the universe to be able to rest properly. Okay, what have we got next? The Two of Swords. Going within, trusting your intuition, listening to the messages of your intuition as well. We've got these, I think they're like ravens. I feel like the ravens are kind of trying to pull the swords away. Oh, I feel like that's kind of like spirit, or your spirit team, your spirit guides. And we've got 2 ravens here as well, two flying birds here on either side of Morrigan. So this is like Morrigan's birds, right? The goddess's birds, or the universe's birds, or your guides, or your angels, or however you want to connect to the other side, right? Insert name as appropriate. And they've tied something around each of the swords, and they're both flying off, trying to take them away. It's like kind of like this energy of surrendering to your intuition and letting the messages come to you, rather than trying to like mentally sort of figure things out. There's a little bit of truth. Let's see what's next. So we've got King of Cups. Yeah, this is like kind of, I'm feeling this vibe, this offerings vibe, like this like feeling really emotionally comfortable to share your energy with the world, and like, you know, feel really happy, fulfilled. Yeah, just happy and fulfilled, happy within yourself. The King of Cups is just, you know, he's happy with who he is, you know. He doesn't need to put on any show. He doesn't need to be charismatic like the King of Wands, or, you know, have lots of money like the King of Pentacles. He's just good, right? He's just good with who he is. He's just happy with who he is, and he's having a good time. You know, a lot of the Cups cards show celebration, right? And I feel like this is kind of like when you can drop this combative stance, go through this healing, surrender and go within and trust your intuition, you know, you'll be able to tap into this energy. This could be another person coming in for you. This isn't a relationship reading, but you know, if that's something that you're wanting to manifest, this could be your sign that you are going to have a King of Cups person come into your life. But I feel like this is more your energy. You are going to embody this King of Cups in the sense that, you know, you can be any gender, you could be female, male, whatever. You can still have king energy, like you can still be sovereign. Sovereign. And we had sovereignty. This is the card you chose, sovereignty. So this is what you want, is sovereignty. But it's not just any kind of sovereignty. It's not like, I mean, it is like sovereignty over, like, you know, your money and stability and security and being able to manifest a certain amount of wealth or things that you want. Sure, like you can get that, right? That all the cards are pointing to that, if that's what you want. But what I think your soul wants more, and what kind of sovereignty you're more after, is less about having some kind of power, like standard societal power over someone or something, and more just a quiet, assured self-sovereignty where you're just happy within your own skin, and you're happy with who you really are, and you're just happy. I'm hearing that Pharrell Williams song, I think his name is, the happy, like I think it's just called Happy, play. So that could be a really good song to listen to kind of tap into that playful, fun energy. Maybe some of you, especially who used to like to dance, you might want to put something like that on. And I dare you to try and listen to that song and not bop. It is impossible. You are going to start tapping your feet and tapping your fingers and nodding your head and wiggling your butt and in your chair. I promise you. Like, so if you want to tap into some happy energy, then put on that song, because it's just, yeah. Even if you're down in the dumps, I'm sure that it will shift some energy for you. But yeah, the point of all of that was to say, like, you can absolutely attain this. You can attain this energy, this being sovereign, being cool in yourself. This guy's such a cool dude, but like not in an affected way, not in a sort of charismatic way. He's just chill. He's just cool with himself. He's just happy, and he's having a good time, and he's at a party, and he's got a drink, and like, you know, you don't have to do all that necessarily. You could be like, I don't like parties. No, I'm an introvert, and that's fine. I get you. But the point is that you're going to be happy in your own skin. You're going to find this joy, this inner joy. You know, the energy of this card is really different. I hope you can feel that from these two cards, especially. These two cards are quite like heavy and dark. I'll hold them up so you can kind of feel them. Well, this one's not so much dark. There's healing to be had. This one's definitely more dark. There's a very grey sky in the background. And this person looks a little bit concerned and anxious, to be honest. And then this person's like resting and healing. And then this fun party guy here, chilling and having fun. So I feel like that's all the messages from the tarot. Actually, they're telling us look at the bottom of the deck. Let's see. Whoops. Oh my gosh. just completely... No, that wasn't the bottom because I just lost the cards. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull another one for you to finish the tarot portion. Okay. Here's the final card for... This deck is really slippery. It's beautiful, but it's really slippery. Whoa, what? Oh my gosh, I love this for you. The Chariot. That is such a beautiful card. Yeah, movement, balance between shadow and light, yin and yang, elevation, moving on, moving upwards, going forward in life, momentum, all of that. That's the Chariot. And especially in this card, it's very like elevated energy with the hot air balloon. It's like coming out of a time of where things have been really cloudy because there's been so much of your like true self that's been kind of hidden. And now it's like you're just, it's gonna, by tapping into that, by like going into that shadow and releasing it, it's like the hot air balloon can rise, you know, like it's not just on the ground, it can actually go up and move. You can move forward in your life. So you can take that as a sign that things are going to move forward. And this is a major arcana card, which means it's like a big life thing. Like this is like really moving on, really healing and moving on from things that have been holding you back for quite a while. So that is amazing, pile too. I love that journey for you. And I've got a couple more cards to finish off. So we have got Rose Quartz and Olive Tree, Alchemy of Love, Peace Offering, Compassion, Venus Energy. Beautiful. Yeah, Peace Offering. Interesting, after all the conflict. So maybe some of you have been going through some genuine like conflicts with people. And, you know, you're going to go through this healing and there's going to be, you know, peace. We've got 2 doves here. We've got with influence and this card, there's 2 doves. So doves are definitely symbolic of peace. So you're going to come into more inner peace, more peace on the outside as well, peace with other people in your life. And also we've got offering as well. And we had offering with that card. That card as well was about offerings. So, you know, this could be offerings from other people. This could be, you know, offering to do things like for celebrations, offerings, you know, from people in like your community, offering from, you know, a handsome King of Cups person, or whether that's, you know, however they identify gender wise. It could be any amount of offerings. It could be like offerings of food, it could be offerings that you start to give. Like, you know, when you tap into this energy, you're able to give offerings to others. It's very Venusian energy, which is like very loving energy. So, you know, Venus can be about like romantic love. So certainly that could be something that comes for some of you as a result of this healing. Because this is about like, I feel like I've talked a lot about your shadow actually, pal. Too. Sorry about that, because I hope I have kind of shown you enough of like what's on the other side, because this is about like releasing something so that you can call something better in, right? And for you, there is this opportunity for love to come in whatever form, whether that's romantic or just, you know, better friendships, better connections with people, better relationships all round, better work relationships, just less conflict. You know, less struggle, more peace, more happiness, more joy, you know, all that good stuff. And to finish off, I am in sync with the flow of life. Beautiful. So yeah, I think going through this like rest and healing is going to help you feel more in sync and less like maybe in that kind of state of needing to battle for things. Like, you don't need to fight so much. You don't need to like compete so much, because 5 of Swords can talk about competition. It's like when you stand in your self-sovereignty, which is definitely the thing that's waiting on the other side of this healing. When you stand in your self-sovereignty, you are in sync with life, and you have all these synchronicities and things that come to you. That's what being in sync is. It's literally allowing synchronicities to come in for you. It's allowing the universe to give you, like we had offerings as well, to give you. These hands are like kind of raining down all these like beautiful stars. So yeah, really, really beautiful. And that could be whatever you want, you know, that could be love, it could be money, it could be better friendships, better, you know, anything really, anything that you're trying to manifest. Just more joy, more happiness, more peace. Okay, my loves, I am going to leave your reading there, pile number 2. I hope that resonated for you. Please leave a comment below if it did. I'd love, love, love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so so you'll be notified when I next upload another reading. And thank you so, so much for supporting my channel. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose card number 35, Home at Last, Aloneness, then this will be your reading. Okay, so we're going to kick off with the Oracle cards, which I've pre-pulled. We've got this card here, which is the card of a shadow that you are releasing this particular Samhain season. So we've got self-centered, so don't worry too much. I'm going to come to this in a moment. Just lay all the cards out first. We've got Kali, which is endings and beginnings. We have got Bravery, explore your inner wild places, card number 5. We have got Heat. Ooh. Let's move that up a little bit. Okay, we have got Shaman, completion. So kind of a double message about completion there. And we have got Hecate, number 37, Crossroads, the Mystic, and Discovery. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, so whoops, I'll just move these over a little bit so we can fit in this one. Pile number 3. Okay, let's start with your shadow card of what shadow you are releasing, or what shadow you could uncover to help release some parts of yourself that want to come to light. So with self-centered, or with any of these shadow cards, really the energy is one where this is like something you need to allow yourself to be, because this is something that maybe you were shamed for being in the past, or it was pushed into your shadow in some way and it's like not available to you now. And like Spirit is encouraging you to actually like release this into the light. So as in like you need to become more self-centered. I feel like with all these busy bees around this person's head, and her eyes are closed, and she's kind of got this like brown, like a cloth or something, like a see-through cloth over her eyes. But it's like there could have been a lot of busy bees around you kind of telling you what to do, maybe as a child, or like influencing your mind or your decision-making ability, or like just not giving you time and space to really not giving you the time and space to hear your own truth is what I'm getting. Like, and so that's where like you're not centered in your own self, and that's why being self-centered is actually something that, even though that's normally seen as a bad thing, right? Like you kind of don't want to tell someone like, hey, you should be more self-centered. Like that's normally seen as an insult. It's kind of normally something you accuse like a narcissist of being, or something like that. But I think that for you, Part 3, like you're so opposite. You're on the other end of the spectrum of someone like a narcissist, that like you actually need to be a little bit more, like, I don't want to say like be more narcissistic, but like at least be more self-centered in a good way. There's a healthy way to do that, right? There's a way to do that where like you end up being domineering over others, and there's a way to do it where it's just like, hey, I need some time and space to center myself and come into my own being and hear what is good for me. Because I feel like pile number 1, one of the shadows that you are releasing for this Samhain, or whenever you are drawn to this reading, is one of people pleasing, and one of listening to everyone else and being really busy trying to fulfill everyone else's needs. And it's really, really important for you to be alone at this time, which is why you were drawn to this aloneness card, and like just being in your own energy. This person is being ridiculously self-centered in a really good way, right? She's like in her house with her little cat hair. She's got a fireplace. She's got all her books all around, like strewn all over the floor. She's got a mug of hot coffee or hot cocoa or something. She's got a wee cat behind her, and it's like, you know, all autumnal and cold and yucky outside. And she's just like having a lovely time, like just reading. She looks really happy in herself, really peaceful, really contented, really at peace with herself. That's a good self-centered energy. And this is something that for some reason you haven't had the opportunity to really do very much lately, or it's something that you might catch yourself thinking, oh, I hardly really ever get to do that. And it's probably because, like, maybe whenever you tried to do that, either when you were younger or maybe in a relationship that you've been in for a while or something, and maybe you've just become single, but in that relationship you were maybe accused of being like self-centered if you ever tried to sit down and read a book, right? Or if you ever tried to just have an evening to yourself or something. It's like you just couldn't, like you weren't allowed to kind of carve out that space. And now, like, Spirit is saying, or your guides are saying, or the goddess is saying, or however you want to connect, Spirit is saying, like, you need to be more self-centered. Like, you've got to put yourself first. You've got to center within yourself and stop listening to like all these busy bees around you who are trying to tell you what to do. You've got to kind of like block out the distractions and the noise and the buzzing of other things and other people and other needs of other people, and like tune into your own needs. That's really, really important. We've got a double message here with Kali and endings and beginnings, and then shaman and completion. So I feel like some kind of cycle is completing for you. This could be a relationship. This could be, like I mentioned, with that alone at last that alone at last card. Maybe some of you have been together with someone or in a family or something, and finally, like you've either split up or you're going through a phase of separation or an ability to just like carve out some time for yourself. You know, maybe your children are slightly more grown now and you've managed to carve out like either time or a space, like a kind of room of one's own, or even go on a retreat or something. But I feel like it's more like a phase in your life is coming to an end, or very significant period or relationship has come to an end, and there's like you're in this transitional like ending and creating space for something new. And that space for something new is this bravery to explore your inner wild places. It's like the space to be able to like kind of pursue your, it's like your unicorn self is what I'm getting, like your magical self, like your the part of you that is that like no one else has really seen. It's like I feel like it's a bit hidden. Yeah, here we go. The magical self, I said that. We've got Hecate and the mystic. So yeah, there's like this mystical part of you, or a part of you that wants to like explore and discover. And we've got discovery as well, as I've just said discover. I've just seen that. So yeah, there's something around kind of you've needed to go through this ending, as tough as it maybe was, and especially with Kali there, that often indicates that something might have been stripped away, because Kali usually comes into our lives when there's a foundation that we're trying to hold on to that is not serving us. And it's usually a relationship, but sometimes it's a job or just a home, or like staying in a town, or just any kind of foundation that we've built our life on. So however that applies to you, it'll be different for all of you. But she will come in and pull that foundation out from us. Now, this could look like, you know, say there was a house that you thought you were going to get and you had already, you know, put the offer in or something and it had been accepted and you were all ready to move in or something. And then, oh, sorry, I just bumped the camera. And then at the last minute, your offer got, you know, it just got bumped. They took on someone else, or they decided they weren't going to move anymore or something. And boom, it all came to an end. And this whole foundation that you were kind of trying to build and trying to do kind of fell apart. Or, you know, this could be like you were in a relationship, you'd moved in with someone or something, and then that fell apart and you thought it was going to be, you know, a long-term commitment, and you had a rude awakening where Kali came in, or, you know, your guides came in and kind of like pulled that foundation out from under your feet, and now you're going through a period of solitude and being alone and being like trying to find like carve out that time to center yourself, find yourself again, and like be good at being alone, like be really okay in your own company. What else am I getting? There's a few different scenarios. Yeah, it could be a job as well for some people. It might be that some of you might be at a crossroads, I'm hearing, and I've just, yeah, with Hecate, there's mention of crossroads on this card as well. So some of you might be at a bit of a crossroads with a job where maybe there was like something, a contract that you thought was going to come through and then it didn't, or you thought you were going to get a promotion and you didn't, or something like that, where there's some kind of disappointment. And you're at a bit of a crossroads now where you're like, what do I do? Do I stay in that department or that team or this company or whatever? Or do I like kind of go off in this other direction? Like I'm feeling pulled towards something else. And I feel like what this reading is saying, and if this is confirming your intuition, the universe is putting the heat on you right now. You are under heat. You are being put under pressure with this situation, with this sort of rug being pulled out from under your feet, if you like, because this needed to reposition you towards something that is more you. It's like you needed to have something kind of fall apart, or you needed to have the heat ramped up on something to like complete a cycle, to go through an ending so that a new beginning could come. With Kali and with the cycle of rebirth, with autumn, right? You know, like autumn comes, nature dies, things fall back, but we know that, you know, after autumn, after winter, there's going to be spring again. There's going to be a cycle of rebirth. Like nothing ever truly dies. Nothing ever truly dies. Energy can't ever really die. It can only transmute. And so this is like saying that even though there might have been a really hard ending in your life, it's happened in order to force you to like center yourself, to force you to be alone, to force you to come back within, to find your core self, and find your inner bravery to like find who you really are, what you really want, your own like uniqueness. And I think that like uniqueness is something that you couldn't find in this previous place, whether that was a previous relationship, a previous job, a previous town, a previous, like, I don't know, group of friends, whatever it was that you've kind of had to, that you've been moved away from, whatever it was where the heat was turned up, where something kind of maybe like put a lot of pressure on you to kind of get out because it got hot, right? It's like that needed to happen. Look how lovely and like cool and fresh this card is, though, in contrast to the like fiery energy of this card. And I'm also getting, I keep seeing with this card, this person's got like these two hands kind of holding their head. It's like, it's very strange energy. It's like, it's like the person's trying to keep them safe, but really what's happening is they're just keeping them small. Well, like somehow that situation, that, again, whether it was a relationship, friendship, job, you know, fill in the blank, that was keeping you small. You know, look at the wings. They're like turned in, like in self-protection, like, oof. And it's like the wings need to spread. This card is so much more like expansive. And actually, funnily enough, I was just speaking about the wings. Look at the difference between the wings on this card and the wings of this card. This needs to be you. This eagle spirit is like coming to you so that you can spread your wings and like be free and be bold and like express yourself truly, like your true sort of unicorn self, your unique self, your magical self, your mystical self. There was some big part of you that you weren't able to express in this previous situation. And it's really, really important that you go through this time now to discover who that part of you really is. Yeah, and with that snake there, snakes are symbolic of regeneration. You know, they shed their skins. they go through phases of shedding their skins and then they're just reborn again, right? And this is you. It's like you had that ability. Goddess Kali's come to you to like shed the skin of something that wasn't working, something that was keeping you small, keeping you from being able to center yourself and listen to your true self. And giving you the opportunity now, the alone time and the clarity and the no distractions around you to discover who you truly are and tap into that mystical side. So that is really, really beautiful energy. I love that. I'm going to move into the tarot. Whoopsie. Sorry, just knocked the light here. I'm going to move into the tarot portion. Let's see. We have some guidance on what pile 3 is releasing, please, Spirit. We have some guidance. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the devil. You couldn't ask for a better card in terms of release. Attachment. You know, I feel like this devil card is attachment energy. It's also with this like angry ram head here. It's kind of like fiery energy. It could be an Aries person that you had in your life, or a very like fiery, quite confrontational person. But yeah, there was some kind of attachment. There was some kind of like attachment to something, whether it was a relationship, a job, a place, a group of friends, whatever. And that is releasing out. That is something you are letting go of. Absolutely. And also potentially kind of the devil can speak of like a codependent energy as well. And I did pick up on, when I was speaking about the self-centered card, I picked up on an energy of people pleasing. So that could be, that could be a pattern where this person's been pulled out of your life because you were doing too many things to kind of, you know, and I'm not saying that as like a, you know, what are you doing? You were doing too many things to please this person. Like, you know, we all have relationship dynamics. We all fall into certain patterns, and yeah, I mean, I've been there. I've had this exact scenario happen several years ago. This whole like Kali coming in, pulling out a toxic relationship with someone I was really attached to, and then I went through a phase of being alone, you know. So I have been there. I have been through this, and it's tough, but oh my goodness, was it super powerful for tapping, like discovering my true self and being able to find this like eagle part of me and this like unicorn part of me. And the person that I was with, I would never be able to do what I'm doing now, like this kind of stuff, like be a crazy tarot reader. Like, well, not a crazy tarot reader, but you know what I mean. It's not a conventional path, right? It's seen to be a bit cray by some people in conventional society. And so like, and I absolutely love this and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, you know, that needed to happen. And I can definitely say that hand on heart now. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to you. The Lovers. Yeah. So I think you were releasing a love connection, and we've got the snake again. So 2 snakes here, 2 symbols of regeneration, shedding skin. There's a love thing that needs to shed. There was a lover's relationship that needed to be let go of. Let's see what's coming in. What is coming in as a result of releasing this? What's coming in for pile 3? What's coming in for pile 3? Did something flip? Yes. Something flipped. The star. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is beautiful. And this star is a really interesting star card because I love this. It's got this little like hermaphrodite kind of twin couple, like a guy and a girl, like it kind of, but in the same body. And then there's this sort of awake eye, this third eye in the middle. I hope you can see that. Sorry, the camera may not be able to pick up that detail, but there's an eye in the middle here, and then lots of stars coming out from their body. You know, and the star is all to do with like destiny and things that are destined for us and things that are meant for us and things that are like, you know, like cosmic weavings that are happening for our highest good. It can also be to do with hope as well. So I feel like this is a message of hope and encouragement that like if you are wanting a love relationship, like it is destined for you, much more like it could be a twin flame or a soulmate type relationship is available to you, but this other like devil energy needed to be cleared away, because a much better energy, a much healthier energy, a more like a better connection. Like this person that you're going to be with is so, it's like you're just yin and yang to each other. Like you've got the sun and the moon, and it's just, and then this shared heart in the middle with a crown. It's like you both bring out that sort of sovereignty. That is so beautiful. I love that for you, pile 3. Oh my goodness, I feel like I should leave the reading there because that's such a highlight. Let's just get maybe one more. Ooh, the Tower. Yeah, that's what, yeah, I did pick up the Tower card with that Kali energy. There's often to do with like things being pulled out from underneath us, right? It's interesting, we've got like a rat sitting on top of this particular tower in this card. Like rats can be symbolic of sort of deceptive energy, so this person, this devil energy, could have been quite deceptive, you know. And again, if the love relationship side of it doesn't resonate, this could be a job that you loved, that you previously loved or were really attached to, and this could be like a boss figure. But I feel like for more of you it is a relationship, or some kind of connection. Yeah, but it's like, you know, with all this sort of death energy, it's all like death and rebirth. It's all like an ending so that we can have a new beginning. And we've got completion, and we had endings and beginnings with Kali. So it's just confirming. The Tarot is just totally backing up the oracles, where it's just like, yeah, this needed to end. This was a false foundation. It needed to be pulled away. It needed to end so that you could have the bravery to explore who you truly are. You could have the bravery to like be alone for a period of time and like discover who you really are, without that person around, without that influence, without those like bees in your ear being like, you know, you're this, you're that, blah blah blah. Is that coming out? Yes. It was a bit reluctant, but it came out, I think. I'm gonna take it. I'm going to take this for you. So Ace of Wands, yeah, passionate new beginning. There is a passionate new beginning around the corner for you. Oh my gosh, and I just noticed, I love this. I love when all the cards sync up like this. What did I say about the wings? Like the outspread wings, and I spoke about the eagle with the outspread wings, and we've got this eagle here with his wings spread out. This is your new, like, this is your freedom, like after this ending of this situation. Yeah, I'm going to move, in fact, I'm going to swap this over. I'm going to put this here, the Tower, with that situation. And then this over here, we've got the Star and the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. I think that's all the cards I've got for your tarot, but I have a couple of guidance messages to finish off. So stick around if you want to hear those. Okay, so in fact, for you, pile 3, we got 2 of the Earth Alchemy Oracle cards. This is a brand new deck I just got, and I love it. So we have got Blue Kyanite and Honeysuckle, Sword of Truth, Freedom, Warrior of Light, Stop Holding Yourself Back. Oh my gosh, that card just perfectly confirms everything here so much. Yeah, I spoke about freedom with one of the other cards. I can't remember exactly which one now, but I think just generally the theme of the reading is like, you know, freeing yourself from ties that bind, freeing yourself from attachments, from sort of influencing energies that are not good for you. Yeah, finding your own truth, finding your own self. Yeah, really beautiful energy. Oh, I love that. And we have the Empress Tree, Catalyst for Change, Clarity, Freedom, Unbinding. Oh my gosh, what did I just say about unbinding? I said something like freeing yourself from the ties that bind. Unbinding, exactly. So yeah, Catalyst for Change. So this has been this relationship ending, or this connection or job or place or house or whatever, this thing ending has been a catalyst for very necessary change, so that you can, like, it can catapult you towards freedom. We've got like 2 messages of freedom there and there. Okay, and we have finally, it's safe to slow down, relax, and let go. Yeah, which I think is just sort of confirming about a process you're already doing, you're already underway, you're already choosing to be alone and letting go of this connection that isn't serving you. So It's just confirming that and saying it's really safe to just relax and let it go and just trust the universe, trust Goddess Kali, that she, you know, knows in her infinite love and wisdom what is best for you and where you've built a false foundation. Even though you might not be able to see it now, in retrospect, in years' time, you'll look back and be like, oh my goodness, I really dodged a bullet there. Like, as painful as that was, to have that, to undergo that ending, actually that was a catalyst for me, and now my life is so different, and it like propelled me towards my freedom and something so much better. So just trust in that ride, and yeah, you'll be okay. So I hope that resonated for you, pile number 3. Please leave a comment below if it did. I love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for your support of my little baby channel. Please hit the like button if you liked it, because it helps send it out through the YouTube algorithm and lets me know as well what videos you were enjoying. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye.